So, especially in youth today, in a COVID age where everyone's social interaction comes from being online, I think it's really important to pay attention to whether they're using that as a negative coping skill or whether they are branching out and speaking to people, because there is an interesting fine line, especially now, of falling into the internet and that being a warning sign that they are depressed or they're going through something. Another big thing is not taking care of hygiene, which is an obvious thing, especially as people get older, but is regularly looked over when people are younger. But if children and adolescents aren't taking the time to create a form of hygiene routine or self-care routine, including during a COVID time where they might not necessarily feel as required to do so, that's important to pay attention to. Not only is it a sign of depression, but it's something that it's easier caught early and dealt with early. A fear or disinterest of going to school or going back to home or going out to places that should be considered safety places for people who are younger is a big warning sign. If they have stress around these places, especially somewhere they're supposed to feel safe and they spend a lot of time, it's something that should be addressed because it can absolutely be because of a bigger issue. Lack of interest or enjoyment in participating in activities that they consider hobbies. They can sit there and tell you that they like to read and draw and everything else, but if they're spending all of their time in bed, maybe there's something else going on if they can't enjoy the hobbies that they're talking about. And a big thing recently is self-deprecating talk, joking about self-harm, eating disorders. I think part of this has to do with the internet and how normalized the internet has made this.
Mhm.
But it is really common for youth nowadays to talk down on themselves and either seriously or jokingly regularly bring up suicide, and it's not addressed in the manner that it should be. Um, Feeling lost without direction, unheard, not being able to talk about what they're going through, or even speaking about not being able to deal with anything anymore, not being able to do it anymore, not being able to keep going. I think language, especially in a COVID time where everyone's exposed to the internet and these terms so much, it's important to really understand the intentions behind these words and what they're saying and address them with them because they might not realize the thoughts they're putting in their head subconsciously. I also think client perception on their situation is a big thing for professionals to pay attention to because as a child, it's easy to feel overlooked and parents can go in and speak for their child. And it's important to make sure that the kid doesn't feel as though their parent is the whole voice of their treatment.